On a muddy field in France, thousands of armoured knights charged into eternity, only to be felled by simple wooden bows. How did one rainy afternoon shatter centuries of chivalric dominance? The air thick with arrows, screams echoing through the fog. A kingdom's pride broken in hours. What secrets does this blood-soaked ground still hold? Welcome to Grimoryx, where one fateful afternoon forever silenced the clash of knightly steel. In the early 15th century, the 100 Years' War raged between England and France, a conflict born from disputed thrones and ancient claims. King Henry V, young and ambitious, sought to revive his great-grandfather's bid for the French crown. Negotiations faltered amid mockery and unmet demands. Parliament granted funds for war. Henry assembled an army, driven by divine right and national pride. Whispers of invasion spread like fog over the Channel. Henry's fleet set sail in August 1415, landing near Harfleur with 12,000 men. The siege began, but disease ravaged the English ranks. Dysentery claimed more lives than battle. Walls held firm under bombardment. Weeks dragged on, morale waning in the rain-soaked trenches. Finally, on September 22nd, Harfleur surrendered. Victory came at a cost. The army depleted, winter approaching. Henry pondered his next move. With Harfleur secured, Henry decided to march to Calais, a bold demonstration of English might. The army, now reduced to 9,000, trekked through Normandy. French forces shadowed them, blocking river crossings. Forced south, the English forded the Somme under cover of night. Exhaustion set in, rations low, rain relentless. Morale teetered as scouts reported growing French numbers. The trap was closing. On October the 24th, the armies faced each other near Agincourt. The French, boasting over 14,000, delayed, awaiting reinforcements. English troops, outnumbered and famished, spent a silent night in the rain. Henry ordered confessions, bolstering spirits with speeches of justice. Dawn brought no battle. The standoff lingered. French nobles boasted of victory, but fate hung in the balance like a drawn bowstring. 3 hours after sunrise, Henry ordered advance. Archers uprooted stakes, marching forward through mud. Redeploying closer, they hammered stakes anew. The French, surprised, initiated a disorganized cavalry charge. Elite knights spurred horses, aiming to shatter the bowmen. But woodland and stakes funneled them into chaos. Arrows loosed in volleys, horses screaming, riders falling. The charge faltered. Knightly pride met English resolve. The failed cavalry assault churned the field into a quagmire. Now the French vanguard advanced, 10,000 men-at-arms in heavy plate, visors down, lances lowered. Arrows rained upon them, piercing gaps in armour. Exhausted from the mud, they reached the English line packed tight, unable to swing weapons freely. The push began, but agility favoured the defenders. Knights stumbled, the melee ignited. English archers, arrows spent, discarded bows for hatchets and mallets. They swarmed the bogged-down French, striking at joints and helmets. Henry himself fought in the fray, axe blow denting his crown. The packed French suffocated in their armour, many drowning in mud. Nobles fell, dukes, counts, entire lineages erased. The battle turned to slaughter, chivalry's code fracturing under desperation's weight. A French raid on the English baggage train sparked fear of encirclement. Henry, fearing prisoners would turn against him, ordered their execution. Knights balked at the unchivalrous command, but archers complied, throats slit, thousands perished. Only high-ransom nobles spared. The field ran red, screams fading into rain. The battle ended in 3 hours, English victory sealed in blood and mud. Silence descended. French losses staggered the mind. 6,000 dead, including 3 dukes and 9 counts. Entire noble houses vanished in the mud. English casualties numbered mere hundreds. A miracle amid the carnage. Henry claimed divine favour, his prestige soaring. The Armagnac faction decimated face blame. Burgundians seized Paris soon after. France fractured further, while England celebrated an improbable triumph. But at what cost? Henry returned to England a hero, greeted by throngs in London. The victory inspired ballads and chronicles, etching Agincourt into legend. Yet the war continued. English dominance lasted 14 years until Joan of Arc's rise. France eventually expelled the invaders, but Agincourt's lesson lingered. Longbows over lancers, commoners over nobles. The knight's era waned, gunpowder on the horizon. Change was inevitable. Agincourt exposed the knight's vulnerabilities. Heavy armour bogged in mud, charges futile against stakes and arrows. For centuries, knights dominated battlefields as invincible warriors of chivalry. But here, peasant archers, trained from childhood, proved superior. Massed volleys pierced the myth of invincibility. Tactics evolved, favouring infantry and ranged weapons. The age of mounted nobility faded, replaced by professional armies. Revolution brewed. The longbow, a simple yew weapon, required years of practice but cost little compared to knightly gear. English laws mandated archery training, creating a nation of marksmen. At Agincourt, rate of fire, 10 arrows per minute, overwhelmed charges. Armour, once protection, became a liability in close quarters. This battle echoed Creçy and Poitiers, reinforcing the shift. Knights adapted, but their supremacy eroded forever. Post-Agincourt, warfare transformed. Standing armies replaced feudal levies. Mercenaries rose. Gunpowder weapons emerged, rendering plate armour obsolete. Knights became ceremonial. Their role diminished to cavalry scouts or heavy infantry. Socially, nobility's martial exclusivity crumbled. Common soldiers gained prominence. Agincourt symbolised this pivot, where skill trumped birthright. The medieval world cracked, paving way for Renaissance militaries. Shadows of change lengthened. Shakespeare immortalised Agincourt in Henry V with the king's rousing speech, "We few, we happy few, we band of brothers." The battle became a touchstone for English patriotism, inspiring during later wars, yet French views cast it as a tragic loss due to hubris. Historians debate numbers, but the outcome's impact endures. One afternoon reshaped Europe, echoing through centuries of conflict. Modern analyses highlight terrain's role. The narrow, muddy field negated French numbers. Woodland flanks protected English archers. Henry's leadership, adaptive and decisive, contrasted French disarray. Disease weakened but disciplined, the English held. Agincourt prefigured total war, where strategy overpowered tradition. It questioned chivalry's viability in an era of efficiency. The knight, once romantic ideal, became a relic of a bygone age. Archaeological digs at Agincourt uncover arrowheads, spurs, bones, silent witnesses to the carnage. Mass graves hold mingled remains, nobility and commoner alike. Artifacts affirm accounts of mud and mayhem. Today's site, peaceful fields, belies the violence. Visitors ponder the human cost, where pride led to ruin. Agincourt teaches enduring lessons on hubris, adaptation, and the fragility of eras. History whispers warnings. The Hundred Years' War's roots trace to 1337, when Edward III claimed France's throne. Intermittent truces masked deep rivalries. Agincourt was but one chapter, yet pivotal. It boosted Henry's campaigns, leading to Treaty of Troyes in 1420, naming him heir. His early death in 1422 shifted fortunes. The war ended in 1453, France victorious. Agincourt's memory, however, outlasted the conflict itself. Henry V's physician, Thomas Morstadter, tended the wounded with early surgical methods. Disease, the silent killer, claimed many before battle. Agincourt's medical tales reveal primitive care, cauterization, herbal poultices. Survivors bore scars, physical and mental. The battle's brutality influenced military medicine's evolution. From leeches to lancets, care advanced slowly. Yet in that afternoon, mercy was scarce, healing secondary to victory. The Agincourt Carol, a contemporary song, celebrated the victory with divine thanks. Chroniclers like Jean Lefebvre documented eyewitness horrors. Shakespeare's play dramatized the underdog tale, influencing films and literature. Modern reenactments keep the memory alive, arrows flying once more. Agincourt inspires strategy games, novels, even business lessons on leadership. Its cultural footprint spans 6 centuries, undimmed by time. Comparisons to Crécy in 1346 show similar tactics, longbows decimating knights. Poitiers in 1356 reinforced the pattern. These battles marked the decline, but Agincourt's drama amplified the message. Later, Pavia in 1525 saw firearms seal the fate. Knights persisted in tournaments, but on battlefields they evolved or perished. Agincourt stands as the afternoon where chivalry's sun began to set. In today's world, Agincourt's tactics echo in military strategy, using terrain, technology, discipline to overcome odds. Business leaders cite Henry's motivation skills. Psychologists study the band of brothers camaraderie. The battle reminds us of war's human element, where weather and will decide fates. As knights gave way to soldiers, so do old ways yield to new. History's cycles continue, lessons unheeded at peril. The French commands overconfidence, ignoring scouts, rushing without coordination, sealed their doom. English unity, from king to archer, forged victory. Agincourt underscores leadership's role in chaos. Today's conflicts reflect similar pitfalls. Technology versus tradition, numbers versus ingenuity. The afternoon's legacy is a cautionary tale, where one decision cascades into history's turning point. Knights fell, but their story rises eternal. Reflecting on Agincourt, we see not just a battle, but a metaphor for transformation. Knights, symbols of medieval order, yielded to the bow's democracy. The afternoon's reign washed away old certainties. In its wake, Europe forged new paths, nations strengthened, warfare modernized. Yet the human toll reminds us, progress often walks over graves. What other ages await their ending afternoon? Ultimately, the Age of Knights ended not with a bang, but with the twang of bowstrings on a muddy field. Agincourt encapsulated the transition from feudal glory to pragmatic power. As shadows lengthened that October day, so did the dusk of chivalry. History judges not the victors alone, but the tides they ride. In Grimoryx, we unearth these whispers, questioning what twilight awaits us next. The mud of Agincourt still clings to history's boots, a somber reminder of fallen grandeur. Knights vanished into legend, their armour rusting in time's vault. Yet in every shift of power, their echo lingers, like a candle flickering against the encroaching night. What afternoon will end our own age? If this tale of fallen knights stirred your shadows like, comment your thoughts on history's turning points and subscribe for more grim whispers. Until the next age crumbles into dusk, I'll be here in the candle's fading light.